4,500 years ago, someone built something that does not behave like an ancient structure, not because it is old, not because it is large, but because it is too precise. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned to the Earth with an accuracy that still challenges modern engineering. Its sides point almost perfectly to true north, south, east, and west, not magnetic north. True north. That level of alignment cannot be achieved by guesswork or by casual observation of the sun. It requires careful measurement, verification, and correction. And here is the critical point. Once the foundation is wrong, everything above it is wrong. There is no way to correct orientation later after millions of tons of stone are already in place. So the builders had to know the final result before the first stone was laid. The knowledge came first. The construction followed. Now consider the ground itself. The base of the Great Pyramid is almost perfectly level across an area larger than several football fields. Even today, projects of that scale require laser instruments and continuous calibration to achieve similar accuracy. Yet, this was done thousands of years ago without modern tools. According to conventional history, the builders used copper tools, rope, and manpower. That explanation sounds reasonable until precision enters the discussion. Because precision at this level is not accidental, it is planned. Now look at the stones. Many weigh several tons. Some weigh far more. They are cut so flat that the gaps between them are nearly invisible. There is no thick mortar hiding errors. No uneven layers correcting mistakes. The stones fit because they were shaped to fit. That kind of stonework requires consistent technique, not improvisation. And this leads to the first contradiction. If the builders possessed this level of skill, why does the surrounding architecture appear less refined? In every known civilization, technology develops gradually. Simple structures appear first. Refined ones appear later. But the Great Pyramid does not resemble an early experiment. It resembles a completed design, as if it belongs to the end of a technological process, not the beginning. Now step inside. The pyramid is not a solid mass. Inside are chambers, corridors, and shafts arranged with clear intent. Nothing feels decorative. Nothing feels random. Some passages align with specific stars as they appeared at a precise moment in the distant past. This implies long-term observation of the sky and a stable system of astronomical knowledge. Such knowledge requires continuity across generations. Yet, when historians search for detailed records, they find almost nothing. No construction plans, no engineering explanations, no technical descriptions. Ancient Egypt recorded harvests, taxes, and trade in detail. But for the largest construction project in its history, there is silence. And silence forces questions. We are told the pyramid was a tomb, but no body was found inside it. No burial texts line its walls. Instead, the interior is minimal and functional, as if it was built to serve a purpose, not to honor a ruler. Which raises a final possibility. What if the Great Pyramid was not built by the civilization we credit for it? What if it was inherited? Civilizations fall. Knowledge disappears. Stone remains. If the pyramid is older than we think, then human history is incomplete. And that possibility changes everything. If the Great Pyramid were merely large, its construction could be explained with enough labor and time. But size is not the real challenge. Precision is. The pyramid contains over 2 million stone blocks. Many weigh several tons. Some weigh much more. These blocks were not roughly shaped. They were cut flat and consistent. Stone does not allow easy correction. Once a block is set, its shape determines everything around it, which means the accuracy had to be achieved before transport and placement. Now consider the tools. Traditional explanations rely on copper chisels and stone hammers. Copper is soft. It dulls quickly. Maintaining consistent precision at this scale would require constant tool replacement. Yet, we do not find evidence of industrial-scale tool production or disposal. Now consider transport. Stones were moved from quarries located kilometers away. Dragging multi-ton blocks across sand creates instability and loss of control. Precision transport requires stability. One slip, one impact, and the stone chips or fractures. Yet, the blocks arrived intact and in correct sequence. Sequence matters. The pyramid could not be built randomly. Each layer depends entirely on the accuracy of the one below it. This means the entire structure was planned before construction began. Angles, dimensions, and proportions had to be calculated in advance. This is not trial and error. This is execution. Ramps are often proposed as a solution, but ramps introduce new problems. As height increases, the ramp must become longer and heavier. At a certain point, the ramp becomes a larger engineering challenge than the pyramid itself. More importantly, ramps reduce precision. They shift under load. They limit fine control. And no clear evidence of massive ramps remains. Which leads to a simple but uncomfortable conclusion. The method used to lift and place these stones is unknown, and that matters. Because advanced construction methods do not appear without precedent. They are developed, refined, and taught. Yet, the Great Pyramid appears without a visible learning curve. Either the builders possessed knowledge we no longer understand, or they inherited it from a time we no longer remember. If the Great Pyramid was designed as a tomb, its internal design is difficult to explain. Tombs are symbolic. They tell stories. They are filled with inscriptions, names, and imagery. The Great Pyramid is not. There are no prayers carved into its walls, no scenes of the afterlife, no personal identity preserved inside. This absence is not accidental. Other Egyptian tombs are rich with symbolism. The Great Pyramid is silent. Its interior is minimal and controlled. The chambers are placed with geometric precision, not ceremonial intent. The corridors are narrow and deliberate. Nothing encourages gathering or ritual. Everything encourages direction and containment. That is not typical of a monument meant to be visited. Now consider the shafts. They serve no clear ceremonial purpose, yet align precisely with the sky. Symbolism does not require precision. Function does. A structure does not need moving parts to be functional. A sundial is functional. A telescope fixed to the stars is functional. Function can exist in geometry, alignment, and material. The pyramid's shape, mass, orientation, and internal geometry all suggest intention beyond symbolism. This does not mean we know what it was used for. It means it was built to do something. And here is the key point. We do not need to know the exact function to recognize functional design. The better question is this: what kind of purpose demands extreme precision, massive scale, and complete absence of decoration? Not a king's legacy, not a symbolic gesture, something measurable, something repeatable. If the pyramid's purpose was understood by its builders, but not recorded in a way we recognize, that knowledge may have been lost over time, not through catastrophe, but through irrelevance. When context disappears, function becomes mystery. What remains is stone and assumptions layered on top of it. This is why the Great Pyramid resists simple explanation. It is not mystical. It is incomplete. Incomplete not in structure, but in context. We are looking at the result without access to the reasoning behind it. And that is why the pyramid does not feel ancient. It feels disconnected, as if it belongs to a chapter of human history that was never fully written. The Great Pyramid does not answer questions. It asks them. So, what do you think? Is this simply a masterpiece of ancient engineering, or evidence of something our history has yet to explain? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective might be the missing piece.